Hi everyone, it's Michelle here. So today's video, I kind of want to go over a few things. What's it like to navigate the world as a trans woman? How to navigate the world as a trans woman and things that I did to help improve my confidence, my self-esteem, things that I did that made my transition a little bit easier for myself. Now, this might not happen and might not work for everybody, but this is definitely what worked for me. So before my transition, some of the things that I was constantly aware of was how do they sound? How do they move? How do they do things, you know? And leading up to this all, paying attention when I was out in like stores or shopping or at work, you know, how do women move about versus a man? And the more you think about it, the worse it actually becomes. So what I mean by that is when you try too hard, it usually end up failing. So, example, one of the things was walking. Something as simple as walking. So women have a natural kind of like a sway for the most part. But what I found was, and this was like in the community with going to different events, a lot of the trans women, you know, they had almost like a false sway to them, and it was almost like overdone too much. So those things like kind of threw me off, and the more I learned about it, and the more I understood it, was that literally just be yourself. Like obviously, yes, if you have like a, you know, like a wicked, bold-legged, you know, I don't know, just kind of walk to you, you know, you might have to fine tune some things. Like I did have to fine tune a little bit of walking, but it wasn't to the point where it looked overdone and that kind of stuff. One of the other things I found too was don't over exaggerate. Be yourself. Literally be who you are. Now, at first, it's kind of weird because you have to portray something or a different person, you know, your whole life or however long before you transitioned. So you kind of have to change your mentality just a little bit. But what I found was the more you tried, the more I failed. You know, it became more obvious of that I was trying. So the more I relaxed and the more I just kind of went out and did my thing, you know, it became more natural. And next thing I knew, people weren't noticing anymore. They weren't like calling me out, and it was actually kind of like a relief. Now there were times in the beginning where I did have you know, people misgender at first and this and that, but I also didn't have my confidence that I have now. It was very, very different. Like you know, you almost stand out, and that's due to fear, and that's okay. A lot of too is hair, makeup, which obviously I don't have any on because in my last video I kind of explained that I don't really use makeup really much anymore. Most of the time I get up, I go to work, you know, I guess I could take a little time to do makeup and do different things, but at the end of the day, it was like, what was the point? Like, I don't know, I just wanted to be more myself, more natural, and then my confidence grew, and, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I wore makeup for a very long time, for years, and now it's just, I don't care anymore. This is who I am. So, be yourself. That's a very, very, very important lesson, is just be natural, be yourself. Don't overthink it, don't overdo it. So starting out, I also didn't have any hair. Like before, I used to have like a buzzed haircut. So I had no hair. So it, like, for me to even think about anything was like, that was terrifying, because I was like, oh my God, I don't have any hair. What am I supposed to do? I had like scruff. I had like, you know, it was frightening. So then I went shopping for wigs. That was kind of a nightmare. I had to buy a couple different styles and try them all on and see which one fit my face and my features and which one worked for me and which one was easier to use. I'll put a picture of it here. Yeah, but then once when the hair grew in, you know, I'll show kind of like the hair, you know, with the wig, and then as my hair grew, and then eventually to now. So now if I take this out, you can see, you know, this is my natural hair. So, and it took a few years to get to this point, you know, Sorry, I just took a shower, so it's all wet. But it's like, this took time, and actually, I just got a haircut. I actually cut off probably 3 or 4 inches. So this was, 2018 as I started growing it. It just takes time. Everything takes time, and you have to be patient, and it's not going to be an overnight thing. I didn't wake up one morning and go, I'm going to be a woman. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm feeling bored. So I think starting tomorrow I'm going to be a woman. And poof, magically, So yeah, it just takes time. Everything takes time. You have to let your body adjust to the hormones, the hormone changes, the stuff everything's going to go through. All of that comes, and then check YouTube, check different things. Like I made a video, I don't know if it was very helpful, but it was like, working on your voice. If you have a very deep voice, well, you have to work on trying to get the pitch and trying to get all the tone and trying to get all that stuff going. It's not as easy as people think sometimes. And it just, I know a lot of people get just very discouraged with it because it's extremely, it's frustrating. It's super, super frustrating. So if anything, just be yourself. I don't know if these videos are super helpful to anybody. They're more just kind of like ramblings and rants and, I don't know, tips that I did to help make myself feel better. I guess that's all I got for today. I guess I'll see you guys all in the next one.